It's the Boom Bap Hour, and I'm your host, Miss Vanetta. Coming up, my guests today are two dope powerhouses of the culture coming together to craft something truly special. First, we've got an Emmy Award-winning MC, educator, activist, and storyteller whose pen cuts through with purpose. Joining him is the Brooklyn born producer whose beats carry the DNA of the golden era. Coming up under the legendary Kid Capri, he's crafted for some of the greatest to ever touch a mic. Together, they've just dropped Guardians of the Boom Bap, a collaboration that blends timeless beats, razor sharp bars, and the kind of energy that takes you straight back to when hip hop was everything, raw and apologetic. Please welcome Amadeus 360, the Beat King, and Devine Carama. What's up, y'all?
Peace, peace.
Yeah,
What's up with you? I'm
yeah.
good. I'm here, so I can't complain. I'm blessed.
Yes, yes. Y'all both together in NYC, right? Y'all really doing some big things up there right now. Most
Yeah,
Yeah, you rocking out. We doing big things with you too. So
Yes, that's what's up. Well, listen, I've been loving what I've been seeing. I'm just kind of checking you guys out on social media and seeing exactly like what you guys are doing. Especially I saw like the video for the essence, that really hit me. I mean, just seeing everything just took me back to a place where, life was just good. You know what I mean? You see the boom boxes, the graffiti, just everything. And I just want to thank you both for keeping hip hop alive and just bringing that feeling back.
I appreciate that. That's one thing when me and Amadeus linked up, which I guess it's been about a year ago. That's something we were intentional about. You know what I mean? Like just kind of preserving this thing that we love so much. We love to see it grow, you know what I mean? And it should keep growing, but we can't forget, how it started and what it was built upon. So with this album, we just try and do our part to preserve that.
Yes, most definitely. So, I mean, listen, so tell us about Guardians of the Boom Bap. How did you two come together on this project?
You want to go, Amadeus? You want me to start?
now you know I'm out here in this rain.
I know. uh, well, Amadeus been putting in work in the game for a while. I'm more of an underground, unknown MC, I guess, to a certain extent, from Kentucky. But Amadeus had been producing for a lot of my favorite artists, household names, been doing this thing. And so I just reached out to him on Instagram and said, "Yo, I love your beats." And then he checked my stuff out. He was like, "I love your bars." And I'm like, "Well, let's work on something." And so it happened that quick. Um, and you would think that we've known each other for years. You know what I'm saying? We connected real easily on a personal tip, and I think the music just flowed because of that connection. And yeah, less than a year, we put together what I feel is, I can't speak for him, but is easily, I think, one of my best bodies of work.
Wow, that's
Um, you
amazing.
know, yeah, and so yeah, it just happened like that.
Wow. Well, see, when you know, you just know. It doesn't take long, for you to figure out, like, listen, this is just something that's meant to be. When you feel it, right?
Look, what did Common say? Common said it might have been a light. He said it don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine.
There
You
you
know what I'm
go.
saying? So yeah.
Yes, yes. So you said that, y'all came together and, you heard you loved his beats and he loved your bars. So when you heard those beats, just really just kind of capture the essence of what you guys wanted to capture, like, what did that bring out of you lyrically?
It like I already take my pen very serious. I try not to waste a bar, a syllable. You know what I mean? But when I heard his production, I understood that this was a chance to elevate my message to a broader audience. And so for me, but then also trying to convince him to do a project because we didn't really set out and say, hey, we're gonna do this project. It was more or less filling each other out. And so when he's sending me these beats, I was going in within 24 hours and putting something down and sending it back to him. And so he could speak to it more because we never really had this conversation. But I feel like when he saw how dedicated I was, like, and how the music was sounding, he was like, all right, let's just go ahead and do a project. You know what I mean? But I had to convince him, I had to show him that I was serious too. And so, yeah, I mean, Amadeus is one of the best doing it. So it's definitely gonna elevate your pen. If not, you doing something wrong.
There's something wrong, right?
You know what I mean?
So Amadeus, so this project, it feels like a love letter to, to hip hop, not in a stuck in the past way, but more like a continuation of a legacy. So what do you feel like? Okay, you said the guardians of the boom bap, right? Like, what do you feel like? What are you protecting and what do you want to pass down to maybe like even the next generation?
We're protecting the sound and the art form, just like anything that has authenticity to it, we just want to just keep it around, keep it there, like not let it die out. Just make sure that people hearing something updated and new.
Most definitely, definitely. And you've even Amadeus talked about like the fast food production we see today, kind of music made quick, little care for how it's crafted, you know, how do you make sure that you gonna make something that's timeless and that's gonna last like longer that people are gonna appreciate for a long time?
I mean, there's a lot of incredible MCs and producers out there that don't get heard. And what you do is you just put your best foot forward, and then from there, just make sure you craft something that can end up in somebody's playlist for sure. Just somebody that knows that when they ready to listen to something that just has that authentic sound to it, they know where to go. I mean, we can't say that we're like, oh yeah, we're the leaders of this. Nah, we just keeping something, authentic in place. Who wants to see something real die out?
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, and we know like when you guys got into the studio, when you said, okay, I know for a fact that I want this album to have a certain feeling, like what were the things that would make this album stand out? Like what were the non-negotiables? Like, like listen, I know it's gotta have this to make sure that it's gonna give that feeling that we want people to hear when we, hear this album is gonna take them back
Yeah.
to that place. What were the non-negotiables? It gotta have this.
Yeah.
It,
I'll
it
be
had.
honest. Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Amadeus.
No,
Well,
no, no. You go ahead because I'm outside. Go ahead.
okay, well, I was gonna say, to be honest, and Amadeus has said this before in previous spaces, like we didn't really intentionally set out and say, hey, this album has to have this, because what we were trying to create was already instilled in both of us and who we are. So we just authentically created, and this is what
Yeah.
came out. So I think it was us having that kindred spirit and an understanding of who we were as artists. So it was a trust. So it was like when I was getting beats from him, I'm like, dude, it's like he's tapped into the same wavelength, because who he is who I am, when as far as the artistry. So that authenticity, I think, is what the common thread is through the project. Like we didn't go in saying, hey, we gonna create this and we gonna do this. Nah, we knew who we were. And if we were just authentic to who we were, we knew what was gonna come out, and that's what came out. And so for me, I knew I wanted to touch on storytelling. I knew I had to have lyrical integrity, but that's just because that's who I am. And the same for him. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who he's producing for. He might make specific production to match an artist, but that boom bap is who he is. You know what I'm saying? And me too. So hopefully that makes sense. But nah, we were completely authentic in how we approached creating this album, and I think that's what made it so dope.
Definitely. And, I think that both of you guys, with just the essence of wanting to come together and be authentic, is what is going to convert over to the audience, because I really feel like that's something that hip hop is missing right now. And you guys have that ingredient that people are going to want to consume. You understand what I mean? Most definitely. So, you know, all right, so to both of you, you brought in some legends, Craig G, Sadat X, these are some legends that's stepping into a project like this. Now tell me about that experience.
You
Yeah,
mean me? You want me to tell you? Or
Either one of
yeah,
you
I'll let it.
guys want
Look,
to.
I
I'll
mean,
let.
these are people that, like I work with so many people. It's just what I do. It's kind of hard to explain at this point what that was like when it's just something that you've already done a million times. It's always been amazing to work with people or that are highly respected and have a resume. You understand? Especially, my goal is always to rep New York and the culture that we come from. You know, growing up in this type of culture where there's an ownership of this. Everybody else, and we view as some type of guest. If you come from somewhere else, it's hard to to ever really explain to somebody something that you watch your whole life come along. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's always my goal. I know some hardcore hip hop heads. I know people love this culture all over the world, but this New York, you understand? This is the place where everybody that from the golden era that birth whatever came later came out of. You understand? So even though hip hop belongs to everybody, particularly within our culture, and I'm going to say African American culture, you understand? It's still, this is the birthplace. And there's a sound in particular that if it comes from anywhere else, it's not real. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Premier's from Houston, yet considered, even though he came very young, he was like 19 or 18. He's been in New York for a long time. He is what New York people would say is the sound of what hip hop should sound like. What New York hip hop sounds like. Do you
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? So, and I just absolutely refuse to allow something so beautiful that I spent my entire life watching come up, die out.
Mm.
I can't stand it. And like I say, it's hard for a lot of people outside to understand that. Some people think they know, but they don't. They don't, and those early days of hip hop when it was very localized and, the shows and the concerts, they weren't these Beyonce, Jay-Z, $900 and $3,000 for a front seat ticket. This was the music of the community. And I remember the first time I probably saw that was with Run DMC, where I saw all of the people of the diaspora, I want to say, or of other cultures came in, because I went to the Tougher Than Leather tour. And I remember that's probably one of the first times I saw hip hop in 88, 89. Like, okay, this is
To ask
appealing
you
to
what
everybody.
year was that? Like I love conceptualize, like what time area was that? You know what I
So
mean?
I think for me, that was probably that. And, and seeing, that the second Def Jam tour, I saw Beastie. And they brought in an audience that not necessarily fit what people thought was hip, would be hip hop heads back then. Beastie Boys were ahead of their time
Hmm.
for being where they, but they're from Brooklyn. And it's just like I say, it's just important Devine had what I was looking for in an MC.
Mm.
He could be what I like about him. He can be himself. He's from Kentucky, but he can hold it down with anybody in NYC. And that was what impressed me because I'm not going to lie, I'm a tad bit prejudiced. I'm a rap racist. Like, and if you're not from New York, I'm kind of like, I look at you sideways because we are real MCs. We are real producers.
Word.
So it's important when you come, you better come correct. And Devine just had all of that. He's got everything that any rapper from Brooklyn, Queens, QB, you name it. He's got all of that. And that's all it should take. It
Right.
is very rare that you see that.
You even said that, didn't you say that he reminded you of Big L a little bit?
Yeah, and I mean, and you have to understand, like, like I said, we got some years apart. So, like, I saw Big L many times, and so and I remember when he died. This is home, so I was here when he passed, and I remember the morning, the same way when Biggie died. I remember how Brooklyn was, you know, and here he comes. This dude from Louisville, Kentucky, sounded like Big L. Not only did he sound like him, but I didn't feel like how Puffy went and got Shine. I said this dude went and got a skinny Biggie to replace Biggie. That's all he did. That's not what Devine is. Devine don't try to sound like Big L, but his style and everything is very similar, but he completely embraces his own way of doing things.
Mm.
And yeah, dude is just incredible.
Wow, wow. Now, Divine, to you, now, uh, how how does it feel to hear Amadeus say that about, you know, how your skills are, and do you feel a responsibility to carry that level forward? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. First of all, shout to Louisville, you know what I mean? But I rep Lexington, Lextown, Amadeus. That's like comparing Philly and New York. Louisville and Lexington, bro. That's you trying to get in trouble.
Oh, you know what? And
Yeah.
I just messed up. You know
Nah, you
what,
good.
Louis? You know
Louisville's
what? I'm sorry,
shout
man.
to look, shout to Jack Harlow. You know what I mean? We rock with Louisville, but it's Lextown. No,
Uh,
I'm just teasing you.
that
But
is true. You're right. That's
uh
right. I didn't think about that. I don't
you
know too
are
much.
good.
I know.
uh, but nah, like it means a lot. To be honest, like the first bar, like of Years to Build, which was one of the first songs we did, it didn't say I dreamed of a nice whip. It didn't say I dreamed of a chain. The first bar of Years to Build said I dreamed of being nice. You know what I'm saying? So hearing any of my contemporaries um, respect my pen means a lot. And coming from a producer like Amadeus that's worked with some of the greatest MCs ever, means even more. So it definitely pushes me. Like he sent me a couple beats recently that I'm like sitting like, dang, I got to go back in the gym and get back to it. Like I can't, we can't come down from what we created. It's only up. You know what I mean? And when you put a project like this together, everything has to continue to elevate. So I'm definitely feeling the pressure, but responsibility is a good word. I like that word. So definitely, definitely.
That's what's up. When I think of Kentucky, I think of is it Muhammad Ali from Kentucky?
He's from
That's right.
Louisville, right?
He's
I'm
from
He,
Louisville.
about to say,
He's from
yeah, I
Louisville.
thought
when you
that's
put it together, you
probably
got to
why I
knock them
said
out,
that.
right?
That's
Yeah.
probably why I said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
we got Muhammad Ali is from Kentucky. Obviously, Abraham Lincoln's from Kentucky. A lot of people know the Derby. A lot of people know basketball, but we got some of the nicest MCs, pound for pound, out of Lexington, Kentucky. We just don't really have an ecosystem. And so hopefully what we're doing, me and Amadeus, can open up doors for some of these younger MCs. And like Amadeus said, there's no, you don't have to follow a blueprint. Like the gatekeeper era is over. Like all you got to do is go be authentic in your art, and everybody got a shot. And that's what we try to show people, regardless of your age. I'll be 45 in October, and I'm doing things right now through this album progression that um I've never done in my 20-year career. You know what I mean? And so it just goes to show you, when you're authentic and you're doing things the right way, man, anything can shape.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's right. I mean, honestly, like even um here on the Boom Bap Hour, we actually are starting, or we've actually started something called Legacy Lab, which really celebrates the artist who is more mature. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
just because you're in hip hop doesn't mean you have to stop. I mean, they don't say that about rock, they don't say that about jazz, they don't say that about anything like that. But for some reason,
Yeah.
put an age limit on hip hop, and that's just something that should not happen. I mean, because we age like fine wine too, or we just get
Yeah.
better with time. You know what I mean?
Look at the last few years. You look at the run that Nas went on with Hit Boy, right? Winning a Grammy, get nominated for another Grammy, putting out 6 incredible projects. You look at what Pete Rock and Common did a couple years ago, Grammy nominated, one of the best albums of the last few years. You look at what the Clips is doing this year. Raekwon just dropped, Ghostface is get ready to drop. Like, I mean, I think we're showing that exactly what you just said. It doesn't matter how old you are, and there should be different spaces within the culture to where it can be embraced. And so I think you're seeing a renaissance of those more seasoned artists coming out and putting out dope music. And at the end of the day, that's what people care about, is the music dope, you know? And
Exactly.
so, yeah, yeah.
Yes, most definitely. So, I mean, listen, what's next for the both of y'all going up in the, 2025 almost over. But what's coming up for the both of y'all?
I
Oh
look,
man.
Amadeus got a lot, so I'll be short. I just want to do a couple more visuals for this project, and then hopefully maybe work with Amadeus some more. I got another project that I'm hoping to drop next year. But really just focus on like the community work in Kentucky. Gun violence been at an all-time high since the pandemic. And so my day job is really focusing on that, and music is a tool to help address that. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of leave things open, see where God kind of moves me, but definitely want to work with my bro some more in 2026 for sure.
Most definitely. What about you, Amadeus? What's coming
Yeah.
up for you?
Well, right now we're wrapping this up, and this project up. We'll be doing other things. Me and Divine. That just has to happen. And like I said, I got some stuff coming with Razcash. It's Tretch. He's got a new album coming, so and I did like 3 joints on there, and 2 we shot visuals for with Tretch from Naughty by Nature, and the other one is Smith and Wesson. Yeah, Smith and Wesson and Razcast, and then got some stuff coming with Mikey D. I have a lot going on. I have a lot going on, and I'm in talks with a bunch of people. So I stay busy.
Yes, yes, I know you do. I know. Well, listen, um, where can we find both of y'all on social media so we know how to find everything for both of you guys to be able to tune in to this great project that y'all have?
Yeah, go to Bandcamp and do what everybody is doing. The streams are beautiful. We love it when you subscribe. Subscribe to Devine Carama. Amadeus on any of the platforms. But Bandcamp, get the album, man. Purchase it and put it in your, whatever you listen to your music on, and have something authentic. Check us out on Amadeus 360. Check out the new video with Bernadette Price, Razcast, and Fresh Francie. It's a Sean Price tribute on records. That's out also, right? Just dropped that.
Love it. Awesome.
Yeah, and for me, you know, Devine Carama, on everything, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And then like Amadeus said, we love the stream, but we from the era where, you know, put your money where your mouth is. You know what I mean? Go to iTunes, go to Bandcamp, Guardians of the Boom Bap, and put somebody on. Like, you know what I mean? If you think the music is dope, like that's how it was back in the day. And so put somebody onto it. So yeah, we got stuff coming.
Yes. All right. Well, listen, y'all, thank you so much for chilling with us today on the Boom Bap Hour. You guys are welcome to come back anytime. Again, welcome for Amadeus 360 and Devine Karama, Guardians of the Boom Bap, out right now, available on all platforms. Listen, like, share, and support. So thank y'all so much for coming into the Boom Bap Hour, and we just want to support everything y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
No problem.